smarter you are than me, I will still always have one thing over you, and that's treachery, right? That's the one thing that old people excel at, is treachery.
In the United States federal law, sedition primarily refers to seditious conspiracy under 18 U.S. Code 2384. This occurs when two or more persons conspire to overthrow, put down, or destroy by force the government of the United States.
We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops.
Because you work at the federal government, that you somehow have absolute immunity from committing crimes. That's not true in any law school in America, whether it's Yale or Villanova or anywhere else. That's not true.
Show up and use your voice. Put your body on the line.
Our Constitution, written by our founders, is intended to protect us against a threat identical to Donald Trump. Someone who seeks power at all costs to get more power.
If any of them want to come in this city and commit a crime, you will not be able to hide. Nobody will wish you off. You don't want this smoke, because we will bring it to you. And the fake, whatever they call them, because I can't say the name, but the criminal in the White House would not be able to keep you from going to jail.
People are out marching and all today, and we need to speak up. We need to be out there and shut this rogue government down, because it's just awful what they're doing to people.
There's what's called the 3.5% rule, which is that if you look at authoritarian regimes of various kinds all over the world over the last century, once you have 3.5% of a population protesting nonviolently against a dictator or an authoritarian, that is essentially an unstoppable force that they can't oppose, and that precludes them from consolidating dictatorial power.
3.5%.
3.5%. It's not that much larger a number than what we're already seeing in the streets against Trump.
Levy war against the United States.
And it's clear, look, I don't think any government in history has had to fight a war against the federal government every single day. Well, I said this yesterday, we've never been at war with our federal government.
Oppose by force the authority of the United States.
Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight. We will not take the bait.
Why are people showing up in vehicles, in convoys, not just in Minneapolis, but all over the country in an effort to obstruct lawful federal law enforcement activities?
Prevent, hinder, or delay by force the execution of any U.S. law, or seize or possess by force any property of the United States contrary to its authority.
I'm far enough away. I'm not influencing anything. I don't. No. No, I won't. It's my right to be here. I will not.
Well, you were too close right now. You were interfering.
I'm right here.
Federal
You're going to
investigation.
get out of my face. I'm a public citizen. No, I won't. Tell me why I'm far enough away from your investigation.
Step beyond our court.
Don't touch me, please.
Let me say to the federal agencies and ICE, this is Oregon. We do not need you. You're not welcome. And you need to get the hell out of our community.
I don't know where people got the notion that if you disagree with our immigration laws, it is okay to oppose federal law enforcement. It is not okay. It is illegal. And if you use your car to ram a police officer or a federal agent, they're going to use deadly force. So people need to know this is not a game.
The definition of treason is explicitly defined in the U.S. Constitution,
Check.
Article 3, Section 3, and codified in 18 U.S. Code 2381, consisting of levying war against the United States or adhering to the enemies of the United States, giving them aid and comfort.
No matter what you do to me, you can arrest me or not. I am going to document your illegal actions. Because if there is no accountability today, there will be accountability tomorrow.
Dude, I'm going to war. I'm going to war. I'm going to war. I'm putting down the Cruller donut and the Dunkin' Donuts beverage, and I am going to war. Mark my words, Hegseth. I'm coming for you.
Shame! Shame!
Do you have a job? Do you have a job?
Shame! Shame! I'm getting paid right now.
and East 35th, but it goes at least 2 or 3 blocks.
Who are you? Who do you work
Thank
for?
you.
Who do
Hold
you
on.
work
I'm
for?
sorry. We're with CNN. It's okay. Thank you. Thank you for your help. I'm sorry. I think people are getting upset.
Punishment includes death. The definition of rebellion is defined in 18 U.S. Code 2383 as an act where a person incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or its laws.
Whatever the status of your immigration paperwork, this is your city. We can agree that what is happening every day in our immigration and enforcement system should not be happening, and it is unacceptable.
The terms rebellion and insurrection are used interchangeably in the statute.
It is time! Right. It is Civil War time. You guys need to wake the up, stop being little bitches, and start fighting the back. It is time to fight!
The legal definition of domestic terrorism in the United States, according to federal statute 18 U.S. Code 2331, defines domestic terrorism as activities that meet all three of the following: acts dangerous to human life that are a violation of criminal laws of the United States or of any state, appear to be intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, to influence the policy of a government by intimidation, to affect the conduct of a government by mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping.
And just real quickly, there are folks that are going to hear you say things like state-sponsored terrorism. You put out as a statement, literally, stop with us, was your words. These are goons. And they'll say that is raising the temperature and actually puts some of this law enforcement officers in greater danger. What do you say to that?
I said what I said.
We have to show up with guns. We have to. There's no other way around it. I don't care if I don't have a Minnesota carry permit. I'm unarmed right now, but this is the last time I show up to face these guys without a weapon. The time for peace is over. They fired the first shot. It is time to end this by any means necessary.
You should run them over. You should run them over with your car, and you should do it quickly before they can shoot you.
Donald Trump, if you don't stop what you're doing, I'm going to have to get involved. And we don't want that to happen, because then the serious things are going to happen, and things are going to start escalating to the point where you're going to basically get murked off the face of the earth.
Do you know how all of these holes were created? By me. I put all the holes in this. And you might be saying, oh, but I thought you were a leftist. I thought you were a leftist. If you go far enough left, you start kicking ass and taking names on the right. And I'm not saying this has anything to do with anything, but ICE.
Good afternoon. Donald Trump. Today I was at the range, and it'll do your heart good to know there was a lot of women there. I was there not with mine, but with the little one that I carry with me all the time, and I'm going to show you up here a little picture of what I was aiming at today. You motherfucking MAGA, you might think that we're out here just sitting around wondering what's going to happen.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but the way life has been going lately, I think it might be time to put down the crystals and pick up the Glock.
ICE is a demon. They are not human beings.
Everybody's like, oh, you're trying to incite violence. Maybe we need to incite it too. Because being passive isn't working, baby. Clearly it's not. We're losing people left and right, babe. Maybe shoot them back.
Everybody needs to take a moment for themselves to take inventory and decide where they stand on this. We aren't all necessarily the ones that need to go and confront them, but the ones that are need to go and do so.
I don't give a damn if they burn down Target. Because Target should be on the streets with us, calling for the justice that our people deserve.
We, the people, need to start taking back this country, and immediately, because they have corrupt, fake-ass people in these placements like ICE that are allowed to be masked, covered, not identify, do whatever the they want, and murder people without knowing who they're killing, just killing civilians. And Trump's okay with this and is allowing this to happen, and it's now happening all over in the Midwest.
Out of Minnesota, no. Trump, you can go bye-bye too, no. I've had it. I do not want to live
in this country like this.
I think we're going to start seeing high numbers of self-inflicted harm to the political party. One by one, they're going to start dropping.
So for those who are on the media talking about, don't burn it down, don't set it on fire, let me tell you this, we need justice and we need it now.
This is for Christy Nome. I hope somebody puts one in the center of your forehead. I'm not talking about a zit, bitch.
I don't really care about the consequences anymore. I don't care. We need to kill these people. They're Nazis. And the only way to stop this shit, let's be honest, is going to be to get violent. We got to get violent, people. And I'm tired of denying it. And I'm tired of y'all being pussies about it. Grow up. We're not going to get through this holding hands. Peaceful protest only works if your enemy has a moral obligation to listen to it. They have none. You guys are sitting there holding up signs and saying, oh, I'm mad at you. You're pathetic. Burn something.
The FBI describes domestic terrorism as violent criminal acts committed by individuals or groups to further ideological goals stemming from domestic influences such as those of a political, religious, social, racial, or environmental nature, which just so happens to be the very definition of the radical left.
If I continually see you following us, interfering with us, honking your horn, blocking our cars, you have a very high probability of making a really bad decision and being arrested today, okay?
I think I'm making
I'm not.
the right decision.
Oh, then why are you giving her a warning? I'm giving her a warning to not interfere with what we're doing, to not make a bad decision today and ruin your life. Okay, thank you.
Funny coming from you.
Okay, alrighty. Thank you. Have a good day.
I hope you have a terrible day.
Okay, thank you.
Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They are agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed and that this could end in a deadly situation. And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that.
Any questions? John Bound reporting for InfoWars.
All right, here we are here. Second. Stand by. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? On that mic this time. Welcome to the show. January 14th, 2025. And 26. And remember, that's why you're here.
That's why I'm here, baby.
Thank you for being here tonight. We got one hell of a broadcast for you tonight, and it's going to be very fiery, so stick with us here. That's about an 8-minute clip, and that says a lot about what's going on in Minnesota, Portland, New York, California, and all these places where these sanctuary cities are at. And, you know, unfortunately, the left is pretty much just calling for violence. And they have been for years, but now they've taken the mask off and they're just doing it. Now they're saying, you know, going to come after MAGA and all that stuff, and MAGA isn't coming after anybody. Matter of fact, we just want them to stop acting like retards. We'll just call them.
Go to work.
Yeah, go get a job. You know what I mean? Take care of your children. Don't let us take care of your kids in the system, because you know a lot of these people don't have kids, or kids were taken because of the drug use, right, or whatever. But anyway, we're not going to get it. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel. If you have an opportunity to go to the YouTube channel and just subscribe to the channel, we appreciate it. We had a malfunction going on with operator error. We fixed it. Now you can actually go in, comment, stuff, get the chat going. Next broadcast, we'll have it going. Make some changes around here. I don't know if you see the backgrounds and all that stuff. We're making big changes around here. We're doing. I was watching the show. I don't know, a couple weeks ago, because sometimes I'll just watch the show to see how bad it was or how good it was or what mistakes I've made or whatever, just so I can get better. And I felt like it was whitewashed. It was so bright. So hopefully this little. Happy New Year. Let's get into it. We have some help now, so this is gonna be good. John, you want to introduce yourself? I know you've been here before, but just let everyone know who you are. What are you drinking? Are you drinking vodka or something in that shaker?
No.
Pre-workout.
Pre-workout. Get you through. It gets me going when we're discussing this stuff. So,
That's right.
yeah, John, Mr. Roberts to some. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely.
It was a great time. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're going to do this. I think we're going to talk about doing this more often. I have the best. It really is great when I have someone to bounce off of, and because I don't know. I think that the whole idea when I started this was to have a conversation. Kind of, I got into the politics, and I had Helen here for years, and then she had some life stuff that she had. And I think the dynamics of the show is way, way better than me doing it all by myself. It's hard. I mean, anyway, I don't know how Alex does it, but I mean, he has 50 employees. I guess that's how he does it. But anyway, let's get into some stuff tonight. We got a ton.
A lot is going down.
Crazy people, man. This, you know, my hope is that Trump does it. Just Insurrection Act.
Yep.
And just go in and just shut it down.
Yeah.
Just shut it down.
Enough words,
I mean,
enough threats. I'm so tired of empty threats. These people need to be dealt with. They need to be dealt with severely, to show them what's up. I mean, you're crossing when you're asking for violence, screaming violence. I can't believe that they're putting what they put on TikTok. It's absolutely crazy what they're allowing on these social medias. But yeah, I mean, it popped off this week. A lot of stuff, especially after what was her name, Renee Good. Yeah, when she got shot, it brought out all the crazies and how we're all Nazis now. Crazy.
absolutely. So we did quite a bit on that. I think that it's hard to explain what it is, like really what it is. Like, what are these people? What are their, and the only way to explain it is by just really calling it out for what it is. And Alex called it out in 2018 when he found the leaked documents. Really found the leaked documents for the what was it called, civil unrest, and that was part of the Podesta plan and all that stuff. And we've been able to find one of that in a minute. Let's play. Let's just go ahead and shoot 2A and come back on the other side, and we'll talk about this. This tells you everything you need to know. This is years ago.
Countries he brags about, the latest Ukraine. He's overthrown financially more than money. He's a Nazi war criminal. And they've got
an action document packed by George Soros that it's But this is Baltimore is that started, and this says on this Saturday, action in part very affect large laws. So it talks about
Kids stand down.
oh, it literally they have this. So agit org, which I guess is agitation, at each act point, specific. That's all. It sounds very. And specific parts travel guaranteed by as safe for all. Entire thing.
Data with the police.
Not yet.
Confirm. Stand out.
In order to funnel.
Yeah, so that the reason why I played that old clip was for the real reason is down below. Real reason that I played that clip is because what we're doing today is exactly what they talked about then, and that was not something new that Alex had been talking about. He'd been talking about it for 20 years, but it finally dropped, like leaked documents of like this Podesta. They weren't calling it Podesta plan then; they were calling it, what were they calling it? Civil unrest, and that's what we have today. When you think about it, like what do you call this? There, a cop drives down the road and they jump on the cop car, right? And the cop don't shoot him. Like, what do you do? Or there was a story of a young man. I don't know if it was. I'm not sure the town. I don't know if it was Indianapolis, Minnesota, or whatever. And he was on his way to go pick up his daughter, and they got in front of his car and they wouldn't let him go. Black dude, you know what I mean? And he got out and was like, "Get out of my way! I have to pick my daughter up." You know what I mean? And they're like, "No." And so he literally had to manhandle him, and then finally he jumped in his car and was like pushing him down the road. I mean, it's just crazy. It's like, what's going on here? Like, there should be laws in place that says that if you're going to protest, you can do it over here. You can do it, at the Federal Reserve. You can do it at the state capitol. You can do it in front of wherever it is, but not in the middle of the street. You know what I mean? Because they're taking over cities.
Yeah, well, it just blows me away. And all this is because of people who just don't want illegals out. I mean, that's the biggest thing it blows me away. How is this? How did we get to this point? Well, I know how we got to this point. I lived it. We had 4 years of a stolen election.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. But I
Doesn't that
never
feel good that
knew.
you can say that and not
Yeah.
have worry
Oh, yeah.
about the
Yeah,
federal government coming
absolutely.
to knock on your door. Because Lad was saying that probably listening in right now. Sorry to blast your name, but he had the federal government FBI knocked on his door back in 2022. Yeah, because he was saying exactly that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh yeah,
They can
and
shut
that's
your
the thing.
ass
They're
up.
all in cahoots. What Facebook, but now the truth comes out, and that's what happened. You know what I mean? We never gave up. It just pounded and pounded and pounded. You can say it, but we're still gonna say
Have
it
you
within
seen-
our circles, and it just grew.
I
It just
have that?
blows me away, man.
Maybe we'll throw that in there just for a little bit of fun. The thing about the that stolen election, man. We have stuff on it, but
This is how we got here.
yeah, stolen election is how we got here.
And this, the way they're reacting is they already were doing this the first term, and this term, Trump doesn't have any fucks to give.
Right.
which is great. That's why I want him to drop the Insurrection Act.
Well, he does though, because he does care about his image,
Oh, he
but I
wants to be
think he's
loved.
got blind
Yeah,
spots.
absolutely. He just wants to be loved. He wants to go down in the books as
He's
being
not. He's not right now.
No.
People are like,
Both sides
you're
are.
going to go down as
Yeah.
the one that had the opportunity. We played it last week. You're going to go down as the president that had the opportunity to take care of this and didn't do it. Just like Bongino. No matter what Bongino does now, I don't care if he comes out with gold bars and starts dropping them on people's laps. People are like, no way, dude. You blew it. You had an opportunity to do something and you cowered out and you turned into a cuck and you ain't done nothing. Then you come back and you want to talk crazy. to
Yeah,
people.
I know.
It's
That was so crazy. I saw that when we were down in LA that last week. I was keeping an ear on what was going on, and he's just blasting people. He's, oh, I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna everybody who's downplaying MAGAs, all that. I'm like, come on,
all
bro.
the black pillars are going.
Yeah,
back.
yeah, the black
pillar
pillars.
going
I'm like,
down.
come on, bro.
Come
You
on,
gave it
exactly.
up. Yeah,
It's horrible.
Yeah,
Because I got my start right in that era when Bongino
he was
got
one
kicked.
I listened to, but now I can't trust what he says, man,
Not a
because he's
word.
just like we had talked about it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's like in that interview that him and
Cash
did, looked like they were hostages.
Do you know that? And I only know this because of Seraphin and Steve Friend. Their interviews. They do a Friendly Friday,
Uh-huh.
and so Steve Friend, he's also a whistleblower. He was offered. Getting off the topic, but he was offered his job back, and he's like, "Okay, I'll take my job back at the FBI." And then they put him. They never hired him back, and then when he was running, he was doing all these interviews and stuff. They called him in to fire him, but before they did, they wasted like days of his life to sit down there with no badge, no gun, no clearance, can't go nowhere in the building without having somebody to walk you
Walk you
around.
through.
And anyway, but they were talking about Cash, dude. That and this was way earlier on, because when those dudes got their whistleblowers and the FBI came after them, and the Justice Department or whoever it was that came after them, because whistleblowers are supposed to have immunity.
Yeah,
and
supposed
they
to have
came after
protection.
them. They ended up losing their houses, their families were all messed up. They were, and Cash was supposed to be collecting money to help these families of these whistleblowers. And I can't say for sure, but I think that a lot of the money didn't get to where it was supposed to go. That's just what I heard. I don't know how true that is. I wasn't there. I didn't
Yeah.
see the checkbook, but it sounds like there was some millions of dollars that didn't quite get to where they needed to go. But I'm just saying. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That
They
happened.
all
Yeah.
listen. You know what? From now on, I mean, I'm going back to what Mike Hirsch said. My brother, he's like, you know what? They all suck. They all lie. They're all corrupt, and they'll tell you what they need to hear. Tell you what you need to hear to get in, and then once they get in, they do exactly what the rest of them do, and that's whatever the money tells them to do. And it sucks. It's just horrible. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh yeah, and like I
Yeah.
said, that's what we were talking about Bongino. Same with Cash too. They built their reputation
On coming
on
to get 'em.
exactly the opposite of what they did in the FBI. I was like, man, you went there and the FBI took your teeth, man. You can't
Yep,
bite.
so since we're here on and the Cash Patel thing,
Yeah.
because there's some stuff going on with January 6th. I was gonna pull that other one, and I I'll look now. You know what? I'm not going to do that because they got this kid. Did we go over it last time he was here? The kid
No.
that the kid. Scroll down on the docs. Yeah, go down. And right there, Brian Cole. Let's do. We're gonna do the Brian Cole. Then we're gonna do. And then we're gonna do that one because that's That's a John Bound report from InfoWars, and then we'll come back and we'll do the Swamp Thing. Go ahead. Check this out. Check this out.
We are finally able to make an arrest of an individual by the name of Brian Cole.
He had zero criminal history, saying that the government, when they were presenting, said that he was getting riled up online. He was all engaging in these kind of theories and things. And they said, there's no evidence of that at all. No messages, no texts, no evidence of any radicalization from their perspective. And they had to come back out and, as I mentioned earlier, admit that and say he was a consumer of this media, not a poster.
An investigation spearheaded by the deputy director and the ADIC of our Washington field office brought in a new team of investigators and experts, re-examined every piece of evidence, sifted through all the data, something that the prior administration refused and failed to do.
He is a level 1 autistic man. He's got OCD. This explains all of the things that they're alleging, saying that the destruction of the cell phone evidence wasn't destruction of evidence. It was just an autistic man with OCD who resets his phone to the tune of 943 times.
What I think happened, this is Kyle Serafin's full opinion. I believe the FBI identified Brian Cole, probably in that loop of like maybe 90, where they did some additional work. He was generally speaking in the area of, and then when they ran it down, they found out that he was not a good match because the pipe bomber route, it's roughly near where it says 1, 2, 3, 4 in a tight little cluster towards the center of the map. That's where the pipe bomber would have had to have been for the actual time that they say that the person was there. So there's a route of the actual bomber, and it's very, very small. You see it red and green. The number 1 is not inside sector number 1. The number 2 is not inside sector number 2, very clean, or I guess it's on the edge. 3 is right on the line, 4 and so on. So they have pings that are relatively close to where they should be, but they're not actually a slam dunk. This is not evidence. This is thin. This is like an indication to go do further information. Brian Cole Jr. was arrested under a complaint that was filed with the district court, the District of DC, and they arrested a guy out of Woodbridge, Virginia for the pipe bomber case, claimed that he was the one who did it. If you don't get that indictment, then you have to take it in front of a judge for a preliminary hearing.
This is really interesting. Apparently, DC is unique in that it is the only district where this can occur, where a Superior Court grand jury can be used in district court. Interesting that Boasberg's kind of floating around at the center of it all too.
They took every means, they filed all the means, they put all these motions out that said, hey, please, like, let's kick this down the line. We want to go to next year. We want to wait until we get in front of a grand jury. We don't want to have a preliminary hearing. And the defense, which is really aggressive, it's a new law firm that's out of Tennessee. They're former United States attorneys, and they're apparently very good, went out and said, no. We insist on having the preliminary hearing today, Tuesday, December the 30th. And so DOJ panicked and yesterday took Brian Cole Jr.'s case in front of a superior court, the lower court, in front of a grand jury, and got an indictment there.
You know, the prosecution was there. There was about 6 to 7 prosecutors sitting at that table. It was a little lopsided because he's sitting there with his one attorney, but that's obviously very standard. If you have the weight of the federal government against you, generally there's going to be 10 prosecutors, and if you're lucky, you could afford an attorney, or else you get a public defender.
Right now, you're seeing the house that Brian Cole Jr. lives in, and that's his vehicle. That's a blue Nissan Sentra 2017. This is the map of the cell phone pings and the towers that DOJ used. And now you're seeing what we believe is Brian Cole Jr.'s car driving at 8:04. It's driving while the pipe bomber is on foot over a mile away. And there's one other car that matches this description, and it's driven by a white person. We can't see who the driver of this is, but if that is Brian Cole Jr.'s car, then Brian Cole Jr. was driving while the pipe bomber was on foot dropping off the bombs, and it couldn't have been him.
Oh, this is a real Perry Mason moment. If I sound a little speechless here, this is so devastating.
So very simply, between the hours of 7:34 p.m. and 8:18 p.m. on January 5th, 2021, the pipe bomber is on foot, walking around with the hood on. That's who the FBI and the DOJ allege Brian Cole Jr. is, that figure. But the problem is a car that matches Brian Cole's car is in motion in Washington, D.C., over a mile away and driving in a route that's at least 7 minutes away and could not be him. There's no way outside of teleportation or some sort of magical time warp that Brian Cole Jr. is both driving his car and walking around at that time. So at the very least, it shows that there would have to be another person involved. More likely than not, what it shows is they got the wrong guy altogether, which is what I believe for quite a while now.
Yeah, no, we did. I remember we did. That was one
Ladies and
last
gentlemen,
since we touched on
InfoWars has been under unprecedented attack for really 15 years.
All right. Yeah. So I wanted to throw that at you and see what you thought of that, huh?
Well, what happened to the girl who was
Yeah, I know.
a police
DC
officer
Yes.
who's now working for the CIA?
Yes. Yes.
What? Come on. And only in Minecraft. I'm not alleging anything. I'm just saying that is crazy.
Yes.
What happened to
Yes.
that? That was
Exactly.
hot. That
Yeah.
was on the national news. And then poof, she disappears into the
When they change the narrative, what they do. And that's what I've also learned about and I'm not a black pillar, okay? Don't get it confused.
No.
But this is what I know that of paying attention, that as fast as the headline comes out, it's buried. And they go on to the next one. And they didn't like that because she's CIA.
Yep.
She was Capitol Police Officer. The gate fit. There's
built
so
like
many
that person.
and
I
all-
saw it. She's
all-
stocky. I mean, like I said, not making any allegations. I'm not saying anything like that. It just
had
looks a
already-
whole
what's
lot
his
more like
name?
her than a skinny black man.
What's the guy's name that reported Baker? Was it Steve Baker that from the Blaze? Was the one that did that report? Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they retracted when they found this dude Cole because they didn't want to get sued.
Yeah.
Because that's what the government will do. They'll be
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
you shut up now. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
so that's interesting. And it's that alone in itself is just
Yeah, but that's the thing, and it just keeps on. They're growing and their stories and their twists. You know, it's like, bro, for somebody who's paying attention, you can't do the hand gestures and where did the ball goes type shit. Not with stories like that.
That is why that we used to take this one situation, one scenario. Just take this, only this. Cut out everything else that we know that's bullshit. I mean, there's tons of it. There's every day there's more shit that's just bullshit. It's fake. It's slop. It's what they call Fed slop. It's all bullshit. It's fake and gay. All of it. But besides that, let's just use this one thing. Why do you think so many people are black-pilled?
Yeah.
Because they're like, what are you feeding us? This
bullshit.
is ridiculous. This doesn't fit
Yes.
at all. And
Yeah.
now you got this autistic black kid that probably can't even speak for himself, let alone defend himself.
Yeah.
And you're going to hang him up on these charges because he was a couple miles away. Horrible, dude.
Yeah.
And check this out. Here's another one that they didn't put in that report, but I talked to. Well, I was on that show, or I was listening to that show with Seraphim. He was like, they didn't impound his car. Now, how in the hell do you have this dude
Got
on
an indictment.
on an indictment for
A federal indictment.
federal
Yeah.
indictment for
Trying to blow up the DNC and the RNC.
Yep,
Come on.
and you don't take
Yeah.
his car in for forensic. I'm just like, that makes complete sense. They did the same thing with Charlie Kirk's SUV. They sold it. It never went to police impound. It never. Yeah. I mean, it's just the shit is just like the FBI.
Oh man. They do. They do. But that's
I'm
the
like-
thing is there are just like all those people who are running in front of the police. They are the dumb ones. They get that little program, that little download. I mean, two months ago it was the Mexican flag, and 2
Yeah.
months before that it was a Palestinian flag, and now it's this.
No,
It's like
no,
what
it's-
the
what's her
fuck?
name?
Can't you guys
What's
can't
her-
think
what's
for
her name?
themselves?
Got killed.
Renee Good.
Renee Good is the new flag.
Yes.
Next week it'll be something
It
else.
will be
or
somebody
next
else.
Month, it'll be something
And
else.
a couple summers ago, what in 2020 it was Floyd. You know what I mean?
And a whole bunch of
download.
others. Because
Yeah, oh,
remember,
absolutely.
everything-
That
yeah.
was
every
but-
black person that got killed, or and they all got killed, and they were unarmed and all that stuff. Then you're like, what do you mean he was unarmed? No, the FBI kicked in their door and she shot him because it was she thought it was an intruder, and they killed her. I mean, that it just so many different things. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's,
Right.
I'm just like.
Stories get
I
crazier and
was
crazier. That's-
was I telling you this? I think I woke up one day. I was in the fucking Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
It just seems
Yeah.
like it. Anyway, all right.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So while we're on the J6 thing, let's just go ahead and finish up with this district attorney for 2B. The J6 hoax swamp creature of the
In this
week
week's edition of
alert.
Lindell TV's Swamp Creature of the Week, we feature prosecutor Jocelyn Valentine, infamous for allegedly attempting to frame President Donald Trump. Here's the tale of the tape. Jocelyn is an assistant United States attorney at the U.S. Department of Justice in the attorney's office. This swamp creature disguised as a middle-aged woman, approximately 55 years old, disheveled, bleached blonde hair, with an undefeated record of politically persecuting Trump supporters and allies. And MAGA wants to know, why is this deep stater still working at the Department of Justice, this time assigned as prosecutor in the fight bomber? Jocelyn Valentine is the J6 court prosecutor accused of a brazen attempt to literally frame President Donald Trump. Valentine was accused of asking J6 defendant Rico to perjure himself and falsely testify that President Trump knew Proud Boys would be at the Capitol on January 6th. Allegedly, Valentine tried to armbar Tario, saying the message was delivered by intermediary Roger Stone. Tario refused to frame President Trump and was sentenced to prison. Valentine is also famous for working on the prosecution and political takedown. That case was dropped after the FBI used unethical tactics and the DOJ held exculpatory evidence that helped influence defense. J6 whistleblowers also come forward and accuse Valentine and her team of asking him to commit and testify to false facts in exchange. Now, Valentine's conduct is being questioned again as she is back in the spotlight as lead prosecutor in the case of alleged pipe bomber Brian Cole Jr. A few weeks ago, I questioned President Trump about Jocelyn Valentine. So, Mr. President, how do you feel about the lead prosecutor on the pipe bomber case? Jocelyn Valentine is the same prosecutor that allegedly asked the J6er to lie to frame you for J6 when you did nothing wrong. What are your thoughts?
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that question. It's sort of a statement, and I appreciate it very much. Jocelyn is being looked at. They all have to be looked at. What they're doing is so bad. This was a whole Democrat hoax. The whole thing was a Democrat hoax, and it's all being looked at. Appreciate that.
Despite the seriousness of the allegations, Valentine remains by the Department of Justice and prosecuting politically sensitive. On January 6th, rushed a federal grand jury in the pipe bomb case just in the nick of time before that statute of limitations ran out. But critics now argue the focus may be backwards. Some are asking whether a federal grand jury should instead examine the conduct of this prosecutor, Jocelyn Valentine herself. Potential alleged areas a grand jury could examine include prosecutorial misconduct, subordination of perjury, witness tampering, abuse of authority, and obstruction of justice. No charges have been filed, and Jocelyn Valentine ignored.
You find it surprising that you still have a job at the Department of Justice? Did you work with some of the former Senate staff of senior influential Senate leaders there at the U.S. Attorney's Office to make sure that Mr. Ed Martin would not be the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia to expose your involvement in covering up for the Fed's insurrection? Ma'am, care to comment?
I tried to ask Valentine questions in a D.C. courthouse, but she hid in a conference room until she left. Why is a prosecutor facing repeated allegations from defendants and Trump allies still working for the federal government and being paid by taxpayer dollars of regular Americans she has been accused of politically persecuting? January 6th is about accountability. Accountability must apply to everyone, including Jocelyn Valentine. Reporting for Lindell TV at the White House,
It's a great report.
I'm Kara Castronova.
Kara Casanova. Deep state swamp, baby. Yep. So here, so hey, it just continues. and it continues. And we could sit here all day long with this thing. It just goes on and on and on. That's just one. We have 100, 200, 300, 400 different situations where it's all the same. We could get into the Charlie Kirk thing, but we get in such there's so many rabbit holes to that you get stuck in the mud. I mean, it's absolutely so many anomalies that I couldn't even keep up. Right, and then the Candace Owens thing going and this and that, and I'm just like, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to let the shake out a little bit because it was much. I mean, it's just because you're not getting no answers anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
like
just
you're
building
it's just
and building
like,
and building.
It's like
and
you're
building.
stuck in the mud. So I just backed off for a minute. We'll get back to it eventually when time comes.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that because I think that once we get to find out some of the things that we're waiting on, I'm really just waiting on some real answers about this stuff before I get into it because it's anyway. So thing about January 6th is, if you don't know, like I know you know, I'm sure you know, that there was multiple federal informant agents on the ground at January 6th that got arrested, that got let out in the rotunda, high-fiving cops, showing their badge and all that stuff. And when asked, Merrick Garland or whoever it was, or maybe it was Ding Dong, what's his name, FBI dipshit, if they had any federal agents, and they said they didn't know or they couldn't, whatever it was, they didn't respond or whatever it was.
We cannot
but we know,
say yes or no.
And so it's like the corruption needs to end. I mean, it's one thing to, apply the Insurrection Act to this situation that's going on in the streets of the United States.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
clean that up.
multiple. And what's crazy, it's all blue cities. Everywhere else,
And the worst part about it is they need to go straight to the governor's office and arrest them, because it's the governors and the mayors.
well, see, that's what I
stoking
think's
it.
going on up in Minneapolis. He's getting all this stuff stirred because he's so connected to that fraud, allegedly. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. And the more that's stirred up, the less eyes are on him. And then what he's done is he's used the media to turn the focus back on,
take it off
ICE.
him.
Oh, not about the fraud anymore. It's
Yeah.
like, no, dude, you're not going to get up on this. There's billions. And I think the last time it was last week was something over $50 billion. Ridiculous. And that's not even talking about California. California is just, a whole nother game.
No. It must be on the far. It must be on the far right or something. So you haven't been able to do the time. Stand by, everybody. Let me.
Work in progress. Let's talking about that though, because it's stuck in my head.
Working on the fly here. Go ahead.
Is the poor bastard that they're trying to pin this on. He doesn't. If he's as tall as he looks like, I know it's a drawing, but you can see
The
how
pipe
much
bomber?
taller that man is than what that little short bomber was.
They said that he doesn't fit any any of the description.
No,
So,
but just I mean, I know it's a drawing, but if that's to par, there's nothing to it.
so let's go ahead. So we have a new producer in here. We're our first show, so work with us a little bit while we work out some minor details as we go along here. But we think it's a good fit, so we're going to go with it. So let's move on. Let's go ahead and do. We're going to go through this Minneapolis and all this stuff that's associated with Insurrection Act and all that stuff. And we have about, I don't know, a ton of different clips we're going to get into and stuff like that. All these wacko nut jobs talking about they're going to kill us all. I mean, it is crazy when you look at it. I mean, so let's just start with 3A, and then yeah, we'll do 3A.
I mean, they definitely need to invoke the Insurrection Act. What's happening in Minnesota right now is just out of control. Once again, we're seeing the same stuff happen and unfold that we saw in Seattle years ago. Myself, Enrique Tarrio, and the rest of the Proud Boys, and even the Oath Keepers, we've put ourselves in the line of fire in front of these insane people. And, until we treat them like what they are, a domestic terrorist organization that is well-funded, this isn't just some random grassroots, thing that's happening. That's not what grassroots is. I mean, they have millions upon millions of dollars flowing in from Soros and other people, and to pay for this stuff and bailing people out. We've got these weak attorneys and attorney generals and things like that, and judges that are just slapping these people on the wrist. Something needs to be done.
Clear, when you guys would go out, we're in Seattle and in Portland, they would attack Christians to try to have a barbecue. You guys would show up, be attacked, kick their ass, and then they would call you terrorists, try to put you all in jail. But back then, the DOJ, Trump just stood down and let it happen.
I mean, we go out there, put boots on the ground, and what do? We are peaceful. We hold hands, say prayers. We literally seek God's help and advice when we do these things. We're not out there being run by the devil. We're not out there running around trying to, take advantage of a situation. That's the thing about Democrats. They love bodies. They love to find a new body to stand on, to put a pulpit on and preach that they're better than everyone else. They don't care how many people die. As long as the bodies are stacking up, they'll stand right on top of them and keep pushing for violence.
I mean, what should happen, we talked about this last week, what should happen is what the president warned about just a couple hours ago, is invoke the Insurrection Act. And I told you last time, like me and Joe have been through all these things. So I think we're able to look a little bit forward. Everybody asked us, and you asked before when Portland and Seattle were heating up, what was going to happen. I said, look, it's going to get really bad, but I think it's going to calm down. I think the situation is a powder keg. I think what we're seeing here with specifically what you asked, like bringing kids and stuff, is like a propaganda. They're putting their kids in front. And then another piece of propaganda that Julie Kelly had reported on was this woman that got shot, Renee Good. She wasn't even married to the woman. And the media has continued to say, oh, her wife. We don't play those violins anymore here. We don't listen to that anymore. What needs to happen is he needs to invoke the Insurrection Act if it continues in the path and the government of Minnesota, starting with their governor, doesn't do anything about it. There is no other choice, Alex. There has to be consequences domestically. We're focused on domestic issues, and here we need to start seeing something. And I believe the president means what he says. He didn't mince words when he said, I'm going to invoke the Insurrection Act. I think that is just not even a warning. I think that's going to happen, and I think that you're going to see that
it's a
happen.
statement of fact.
Yeah. So,
but I saw him this morning on the front of the White House saying he doesn't believe it needs to be done.
Well, what I believe that is I believe, if you want my opinion on that, I think it's just to keep the jets cool. because once he says we may have to, they're already gearing up. They're gearing up. And from all the stuff that I've heard, and I pay very close attention to it, stuff that he is actually preparing for the Insurrection Act. He's planning for it. He's preparing for it.
Well, yeah, just like with how he dealt with Iran, you don't tell the person your plans.
I
You know what I
believe
mean?
that. I believe that it's time for action, and I think it's going to
Absolutely.
happen. I think that, like I said, he's got these blind spots, and he needs to listen to the people. And the people are letting him know this has got to end, because if it doesn't, we're going to get involved. And then if we get involved, then it's going to be a civil war. Do you want a civil war in your streets? We don't want that. But they're threatening us. They're not threatening ICE.
No.
We're going to play the clips here in a minute. They're threatening us. They're threatening the people that voted for Trump. They're threatening.
Absolutely.
They've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And now it's heating up, and they're talking about, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, and how they're going to do it over and over and over. And, sure, some of these are just shills. Some of them are keyboard warriors and all that stuff. But let's say any of them is real. Any of the threats are real.
You have to.
They're doxing people.
Exactly.
That Antifa
you have
dude.
to assume that they're willing to act on it. You know what I mean?
They should
Because
be arrested.
otherwise,
You know what? You couldn't even say that Biden was illegitimate president. They come arrest you. So what's up? What's the deal? And this is what Trump really needs to make a move.
Well, see,
here.
that's what I had said before the show. There's still this two-tiered legal system. Like you can get on TikTok, which is, I believe, a weapon.
Sure,
it is
Chinese
absolutely a
weapon,
weapon because TikTok in China, where it originated, they don't show stupid stuff like that. It's all about learning and how to be focused and all that. Here, it's all about anti-government
propaganda.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's
Sex
a weapon.
Sex and propaganda.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Big tits and
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's true. And and I was listening to an advisor for some big wig in like China, and I was just sometimes I'll, like on a Saturday morning, I want to hear what they're talking about, so I'll go to one of these round tables or whatever.
You're smart.
And they were literally,
that's where the truth gets said.
Then they really were saying, because it was during the time that Israel was buying TikTok, and I don't know if that ever happened or not. I'm not sure, but I think I know that Netanyahu was talking about buying TikTok, and so I started looking around to see what I could find, and they were talking about the how TikTok in China is not the same TikTok as what they send to all these other countries. Not at all.
What it is it's supposed to do exactly what it's doing.
Yep.
It's supposed to make
Deception.
infighting and hate for one another. In China, they truly rule with an iron fist. You know what I mean? And it's
They were welding them in their houses in 2020.
They did. Yeah, they did.
You're sick.
You aren't
You're
coming
not,
out.
You're not coming out.
You're not coming out until we put you in a bag and incinerate you in the roads.
Anyway,
That's
let's
crazy.
keep going here. Let's do yeah. Get that clown
Hello,
up.
I'm Kyle, and I am Antifa.
Hold on, start it over.
We are under occupation, and we are fighting back with every tool we have at our disposal. That has been extremely effective, and we have
That for the beginning, I want you to be able to see the whole thing. About this system.
Hello, I'm Kyle, and I am Antifa. We are under occupation, and we are fighting back with every tool we have at our disposal. That has been extremely effective, and we have pushed ICE so hard that they have doubled their size and they have increased the severity of their tactics in an attempt to scare us into submission. They're brutalizing children. They're kidnapping people from legal employment. They're kicking in front doors without warrants. They are brutalizing people in public and then laughing and joking about it. This is where ICE has come to die. I'm more than willing to keep the peace if they will go back to wherever they fucking crawled out of and leave us alone. We want to know who they are. We will identify every single one of them, and we will prosecute them to the full extent of the law. If that has to be done at the barrel of a gun, then let us have a little fucking fun.
How?
We cannot move forward. Nation cannot move forward. I don't care how good our how much Trump, adjusts the economy. He will. But we cannot move forward unless people are held accountable. I mean, very, very senior people, and they all know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about, and I've said it. Start with Obama and work your way down, right? I mean, and maybe you don't throw a former president into prison. Maybe you do. Maybe maybe somebody says, well, who directed you, John Brennan? Who directed you, Jim Clapper? Who directed you, Susan Rice? Under oath, under the lights, and with the threat of prison. So who directed you? Well, if they say nothing, okay, then that's fine. You're going to go to prison. You're going to prison for treason. Okay, treason. That's a very strong word. Very strong word. And like all these pardons, right? These pardons, and people. The only thing that can't overcome a pardon is treason, commitment of treason. I mean, I get called a traitor all the time. And I say, wait a second. If I'm a traitor, why am I walking the street? If I committed treason, why am I walking? I was never charged with that. They dismissed my case because they lied, right? So, you think Mueller and Wiseman, Andrew Wiseman, who was the deputy to Mueller, would have let me go? Had I was a traitor or that I committed treason? The treason was committed against me, as not just Mike Flynn, but the national security advisor by a duly elected president of the United States. The income or the outgoing administration under Barack H. Obama, treason. They committed a conspiracy to undermine duly elected president, and it hasn't stopped.
Gets me hot, brother.
So let's talk about Mr. Antifa. So is that guy propaganda, or is that just a propaganda piece? Is he really? Does he really have a rifle over there?
I bet he does.
The rifle, or what is he? What is he talking? I mean, is it just because he pulls his? The reason I want to see he pulls down his shirt to show his Antifa stripes. Yeah. I guess he's sergeant or stripes. So I guess.
Yeah, it just blows me away that they allow. See how they can allow that. If we were to do this, you would never hear from me again. You wouldn't. They'd lock me away.
How is that okay? How is
that's
that
what
possible?
I'm saying.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Two-tiered justice system. How this gentleman, I'll be nice, can go about threatening. ICE is doing their job.
Yeah.
They're taking, and there was propaganda.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's going to find them and then prosecute them.
Yeah.
At the end of a
barrel of a gun.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you, they know who that man is and where he is at all times.
Probably.
He's one of them.
Exactly. He's probably CIA. I mean, let's. I don't know. But when
accusations, just that, it wouldn't surprise me because he's speaking so freely about death.
No, we're not done. We got a bunch of them. Let's play 3D and then 3E back to back, and then 3F. Let's do those two first. 3D. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now click it in there.
The momentum is
and
just
then pull it
so
over. There you go.
fascinating
Perfect.
to
Go.
watch. So I'm really, really encouraged by it, Joe. And some of the other things where he's using the Department of Labor website, to use these messages that have been reserved kind of for the Q stuff, like trust the plan. I mean, so he is continuing to give a hat tip to a very, very marginalized group, which he's basically telling you, I'm using the military. and I've been over the past 6 months laying out what I think is going on with the military. He really can't be any more overt at this point. That's exactly what he's doing. And I would not be surprised that in the next week or so that he deploys the military in all of these cities and we start seeing massive arrests. I mean, the game board has been set. And so we're all waiting for it. I'm just so excited because I see the board clearly.
Go ahead, next one.
No cause, murdering
This
people
clown.
for trying to flee and for obeying a command to leave the area, and then shooting her in the face like that after she drops her kid off at school.
Propaganda, complete propaganda.
We have to show up with guns. Have to. There's no other way around it. I don't care if I don't have a Minnesota. I'm unarmed right now, but this is the last time I show up to face these guys without a weapon. There's no way. I got shot with a pepper ball 5 minutes after walking in here. I never laid a finger on them. I never raised a hand to them. I've only been using my voice. The time for speaking is over. The time for niceties is over. The time for peace is over. They fired the first shot. It's time to end this shit by any means necessary.
I mean, you're talking about, potentially going to a dark place in this country. Do you foresee?
We're there. This is the dark place. This is the dark time. We have people being sent to Salvadorian concentration camps. We got other countries being raided for their oil. We're in the dark time. There's no way out of this. There's no voting our way out of this.
Go to work.
We can't wait till November. There's no waiting to the ballot box. We need to get to the bullet box. That's the only way. If there was another way, I'd be advocating for it. I've spoken peacefully. I've marched peacefully. I marched without Sharpton. I marched on Washington. I've been peaceful. I've acted peacefully. The time for peace is over. The time for any means necessary is right now.
Powerful message that delivering.
Yeah, so that dude
That's
right.
FedEx.
No, but that dude is a paid.
Oh yeah,
our agitator. Yeah. He's been all over. I mean, we looked him up, and he's all over the place.
Yeah, it's just like I say, just like Ray on January 5th, the night before. Hey, we need to go in to the Capitol. Yeah. The only person who never got prosecuted was the man who spoke the loudest and in front of a camera. Yeah,
Oh no! They came back and gave him 9 months of probation at the end of it. Yeah, just because they had to do something.
MAGA grandmas on their deathbed got 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
How terrible. 9
and
months.
She was cancer.
I know.
She had cancer.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This is the thing. And we could keep doing this, and it's just sad. It's horrible. And this is probably for the person that runs into this video, and they're like, nah, the right wing is this and that and the other thing. And I'm showing you all the people that are either paid agitators or propagandists or whatever, and they're saying that they're coming after us, and we're at work.
I'm sick. Go to work. You got that much time?
Yeah.
Make a difference. Go to work.
All these people. You see how many people's out there?
Yeah.
Thousands.
That's why I was like, what time was this going on? Because it looked like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm still at work. I have a couple 5 hours in. It's like, come on, get to work. But just the amount of crap that comes out of these people's mouths, and like I said, they have to be paid and protected, because if it was you or me, we'd already been disappeared.
Yeah. So here's a good one for you. You've heard of the energy weapons, right?
Oh yeah,
where they X-ray. They have the
they did that in Venezuela. That's
Well,
how they got away with not having a shot fired with weapons
right.
like
Well,
that.
so now it's on the internet.
Oh really?
Yeah. So now they're showing us how the weapon of fire works. It's a weapon that they just have to have line of sight.
Yeah.
And they shoot it at you, and as long as you turn around and go away, it stops. But if you stay there, it'll burn you. But they say that it has no lasting effect, no birth defects or anything like that. But it's like
So it'd be
having
like a
torch.
microwave.
Yep, it's like having a torch put
Scramble
on your
you
foot.
from within.
Yep. So 3F. F. This is a short clip, but
You
I just,
can't see it, tell it, but it makes unruly mobs do this. Defense Department's active denial system, a non-lethal weapon that keeps crowds and pirates at bay. Normally, you can't do that. The military says the active denial system is not radioactive, it's not a microwave, and it's not a laser beam. Instead, a man-sized beam of millimeter wave fired from up to 1,000 meters away that are designed to get the subject, whoever's standing on this X, really hot so that they move. About 50 degrees out here right now, but I just felt like it was about 1,000, and I've never been inside a tub that somebody dropped a hair dryer, but I would imagine that that's what it feels like. After about 1.5 seconds, my skin was 100, but as soon as I said it was over.
Cancer is productive capability, just heat.
But the DoD admits this system does have a drawback. Propagating through the air. Line of sight target. A prototype costs $10 million, and there are no plans to deploy one anytime.
Part of the active denial system in the military is this dish that sends out a beam of frequency towards people that are looking to do harm. It'll make you stop in your tracks. It'll make you feel like you got to vomit. It'll make you feel like you're on fire. It can even put voices in your head. It's called the active denial system in the military. In the Emerald Tablets, Thos has this group of people coming at him because they don't know who he is when he lands his ship. He says, I raised my staff and sent out a ray of vibration which stopped them still in their tracks. Sounds like the active denial system to me. Same technology, just a different year. What we're doing now, we're just simply rediscovering everything that already existed.
but we have no plans of deploying.
Yeah, no
it.
plan. And the other thing I like, there's no, it doesn't give you cancer.
Yeah, but hey, it has no.
How do you know
yeah,
it doesn't
does
give you
vaccine,
cancer?
But people are
Yeah,
dying
that's
every
what I was
day.
going to just say the same thing. There's no proof.
Yeah, people
Okay.
are dying every day.
Yeah,
We
well,
just-
there's
we
5
ju-
years from the last time it was, yeah, there's some proof.
So the thing, the thing that got me out of all that is he's like, oh, my 130 degrees, 1,000 degrees, whatever.
Yeah.
But then he's like, but there's no reproductive harm or whatever like that. But then he says that they have they're not using it.
Yeah.
But you're going to tell me that the military is not currently using that. I know they're using the percussion grenades, which is what they probably use in Venezuela, because everybody it shocks you. You just
Yeah.
land on the ground. They use them in prisons too for riots. They drop these bombs and your body just goes flat. You just hit the ground. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's interesting that what they're always got some more though. Let's play 3.
Well, I guess I get to be that guy. I get to be the guy that says what everyone else is thinking. Mr. President, we the people would like for you to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. We the people are exhausted. We the people have witnessed the minority, the domestic terrorists burn this country down for the better part of a decade. And they have done so under Democrat leadership. They have done so with the liberal media provoking it and fueling it. And we have watched them destroy this country without repercussions. We have witnessed them attack our military and attack our law enforcement without repercussions. We, the people, are tired of going to work every single day while watching these lazy domestic terrorists. On behalf of we, the people, we, the majority, we would like for you, Mr. President, to please intervene. Send in the military. Do what you have to do. Because we, the people, want to do everything we can to avoid a civil war. And if the government can't get them under control, that means we, the majority, have to step up and do your job. I have been against the civil war since the beginning. Because if you can't gain control, eventually one day they're going to push too hard, and the American people are going to rise up. The majority will rise up to put the minority in its place. That's the last thing I want to see happen on American soil. So on behalf of we, the people, we, the majority, do what you got to do to regain control of this country. Because we, the people, want to count. Love all of you.
I think that way, but I think that right there would be for the weak-minded on our side that need somebody. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a thing of propaganda. It's like, dude, just do your job, Mr. President. For the love of God, you've been messed with, and you've got fucking shot, dude. These people aren't playing around.
They're not. And this is the thing that gets me the most out of all this is not doing anything about it. And
That's what's frustrating.
I think from the tea leaves, or call them back channels, they're getting ready to do something. But we're gonna get to it here in a little while. We're gonna get to the reason why I think that they haven't yet done some things because of what happened with the phones. I really think that plays a part in some of the atmosphere for the things that Trump is paying attention to. Like, I don't know. I don't know for sure if Hezbollah has any of their people in the Epstein files, but I mean, you don't know who's who. And there's reasons why. What I said. There's reasons why things haven't happened. Like the Epstein files were supposed to come out, then they didn't. Then they said they were redacted, and they were gonna fix it. And then I have this video of them going in on the redacted sheets and clicking on it in Word in a Word writer or what in Microsoft, whatever it's called, Acrobatic, whatever. And you could take the black out of it, and you could see all you could see it unredacted. Boy, they lost time on that one because they redacted all that stuff, everything out of it, and they just went there, put it on a program, and took all the black marks out of it, and they could see all the people that were redacted. And he caught some shit over that because some of the people that were redacted shouldn't have been probably redacted, but they were hiding it from. They don't want the people to know that different people are in there because of what it'll do to us financially. But listen. The truth is the truth, and that's all I give a shit about. And if it means
exactly,
hey,
bro.
if it means that I got to eat beans and rice for the rest of my
and
life,
that's what
and my
upsets me
kids
too.
don't have to suffer this bullshit, I will eat beans every fucking day and be glad about it because it's ridiculous. It's bad.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I was talking to my wife. Why are you upset? It's like because there's nothing worse than a chomo, right?
Yep.
But even worse is somebody who's an apologist for that type.
Yep, absolutely.
Just as bad, just as wrong. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yep.
So when you laid that little bit of mustard seed in my head that you might be covering for one of your friends that might have been doing some bad stuff,
Yep.
I don't believe he.
Right.
But
I told you who it was.
Yeah.
I had the name wrong, but I remember I told you that it was the dude with the beard.
Yeah.
And it wasn't who I thought it was. I had the name wrong.
Yeah, it's just, can't have apologists, man. We need action in more ways than one, and in so many different avenues right now. That's what's so frustrating.
I had the name wrong. Howard Lutnick. Lutnick is the one that lived next door to Epstein and had the 5-story building that was attached to the 7-story building that Epstein owned in Manhattan or wherever it was at in New York. Or
Yeah,
it was at.
and Ludnick's the finance guy, right?
He's the dude with the beard.
Yeah,
And
with
so
all the big plans.
He's the tariff guy.
Yeah.
Him, and Bassett Navarro. Navarro was the
Navarro's,
one. Navarro's solid, but he was the one that
he went to prison for the cause.
He sure did.
You know.
And so one of the things about that is do the background on Lutnick. I think his brother. I think it was his brother was in 9/11, got killed in 9/11. Those guys are filthy rich.
Oh, yeah.
Billionaires, you mean?
Well, yeah, and
So-
they run. It's not like you have some layman hanging out with Trump. They all run in the same circles. You know, money knows money, and money hangs out with money. That's how he knew Epstein. You know.
So go back up real quick. 1B. Get your scene in there first. We're doing this on the fly right now. We're figuring this thing
Whatever happens in Iran at this point could easily be teed up for a false flag. Just somebody in a building shoots into a crowd, and there's Trump and Netanyahu, and we've got the aircraft carriers, strike groups going in.
Al Arabia writes, already the regime has made numerous threats should its nuclear facilities come under attack from either Israel or the West. Compiled from information leaked from an Iranian military source, pointed to how Iran had put together a secret plan to retaliate after such an attack, which was codenamed Qiyamah, or Judgment Day. The IRGC would immediately respond through missile attacks on the U.S. coalition's Arab and Muslim allies in the Gulf region, hitting military bases occupied by the U.S. coalition, as well as a series of suicide operations targeting U.S. and British interests in the area. But hasn't this playbook been in motion all along? And who would ultimately benefit from a war with Iran? Iran's crude oil and central bank are holdouts when it comes to globalism's grip, and they would be instrumental in starting World War III, which would fatten the New World Order's pocket and put an end to the global populism threatening New World Order domination.
Bibi has repeatedly been under indictment, issues of corruptions, issues of dysfunction. Even Mossad head leaders in the past 5 Mossad leaders say this is not the way to approach the Middle East or Iran or the Palestinians. And Bibi has ignored all that. And basically, he's kowtowed to Trump, and he has tried to manipulate his way into Trump's good graces so that we would in some way end up fighting their war.
Iran is like 5 times bigger than Iraq and 10 times bigger than South Vietnam. The Houthis, with drones and truck-launched small missiles, were able to drive our Navy out of the Red Sea. They drove us out of the Red Sea because the modern math doesn't work for our type of warfare. They'd fire a $100,000 missile or a couple of them at a ship, and we would have to spend $5 or $10 million worth of extremely high-tech surface defense missiles to try to stop these $100,000 drones. And our destroyers don't carry an unlimited number of these. A couple dozen and they're out. They have to leave the area, return to a port that's not nearby because they can't be launched at sea. They can or reloaded at sea. They can only be reloaded dockside. So the math just doesn't work for American power projection the way that it used to. So if we get sucked into quote unquote rescuing Iranians. What does that mean? We're gonna drop Delta Force and SEALs into Tehran because we think that some people have been mistreated.
We know there's a big political, changes happening. What is all this massive movement really about?
I do agree with exerting our influence in our hemisphere because the unipolar moment that began in the 90s with the fall of the Soviet Union, the end of the Cold War.
Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev has been removed from power, and there are tanks now in the streets of Moscow. Vice President Gennady Yanayev says he has taken over as acting president as the head of state of a special state committee. You're watching live pictures from Moscow this morning.
The unipolar moment is done. It's going to be a tripolar world, Russia, China, America. If you just look at the military, the three most powerful military nations, or it's the U.S. and the West financial system versus the BRICS, which has China, Russia, Brazil, India, South Africa. Either way, America is no longer the 1,000-pound gorilla that can just walk around the country smacking little monkeys around. That day is over. We couldn't even stop the Houthis from firing missiles in the Red Sea. So that's a key choke point. The Red Sea cuts off going all the way around Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, InfoWars has been under unprecedented attack for really 15 years, intensifying when Obama, 2013, secretly listed us as a terrorist organization for destruction by the CIA and FBI that was declassified earlier in the year.
Gotta fix that. It's weird. I don't know why. I have to go all the way around. It's all good. All right. So I played that because I was talking about it.
Yeah.
And these are the reasons why things aren't happening the way we want them to happen, because all these little pockets of bullshit that's going on, like with the Houthis and Iran and Israel and, all these different foreign, because Trump's really good at foreign diplomacy, money, and all that kind of stuff. He's good at tariffs and getting stuff like that. And he's good at being strong, like, peace through strength. But I think we're gonna get into it down here. We're gonna make sure to get into this. But like we talked about off air, you got the Iran thing. That's a major thing. It's bigger than they say.
Oh yeah,
it's way bigger. If you listen to what he was saying about how big Iran is compared to Iraq, or
2 times, and then 4 times bigger than Vietnam.
Right. When you look at that, we would never be able to go in there and fight them on their soil. There's no way, because it's so big and it's it's mountain terrain.
Like straight with Afghanistan.
Yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger than Afghanistan. But my point is, there's these things that are going on that we don't see, that we don't know, they don't tell us. Hegseth doesn't come out and tell us the reason why we're not blowing the shit out of whoever is because of the threats that they're throwing back at us. If we do this, they're going to do that. And I think that the phones going out last week, like on the East Coast, the phones were out for a day. Like Verizon was down. California, we had power here, but we're on a different grid. And we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about like what should you do, being prepared for what's coming next. We're going to get into that in the next segment. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about, do you have food and water? And, because listen, these are all tests. They're doing these tests where, and if I don't remember, but last summer we had no internet for like a day and a half, like none, no internet. And I'm like, and and our phones weren't working, and and then after like a day and a half we could reset our phones, and everybody was figuring out how to, because I have a sat phone, so I'm calling people on my sat phone going, hey, do you have power? What are they telling you? You mean? And I called the East Coast, they were fine, but we were down. So they do this stuff to test or
general public will react. Yeah,
it's either a test to see how much they can do with, of the push of the button or whatever it is, or, you know, but I just want you to know that I can do this to you. So you sure you want to come over here and do this to me? And
Yeah.
I really think that we're going to get into that clip a little bit later. But I think that's part of the reason why some of the things aren't happening, including the Epstein files. I think that the reason why we haven't gotten clear answers isn't because Trump's in the Epstein files. I think
I
it's
don't think so
because
either.
there is blackmail in other areas with important people. We don't think they're important, but probably for globalism, for global United States, global, right? For everything, the trade and all that stuff, it's probably very important to Trump's. I think it's 11 or 20, $19 trillion or 22 trillion, whatever it is, whatever the number is now that he's bringing in here. But some of those people definitely were hanging out with
Oh,
the
yeah.
young girls or young boys, or they're fucking sick, man. The
Yeah.
people are sick. I think that plays a lot, has a lot to do with why we're getting the runaround about these things. And some people, and including myself, I don't agree, but the black pillars especially are like, fuck this, right? We are not doing it. You either give it to us or we're going to burn. We're never going to vote again. We're going to burn this place down. And they're acting like Antifa. I mean,
Yeah.
and the
exactly.
truth is, I get on one level, and I'm not making it because I definitely don't make um, any excuses for Trump. Trump's his own man. He knows that when he does this stuff, he's going to get his ass kicked from the people, and he does, and he knows that because they contact important people like Alex Jones and different people,
Yeah,
Joe
to
Flynn,
let you get it
and
out.
and to find out,
Yeah.
hey, why, like Rasmussen reports, hey, why is my polls down below 30? Because you didn't let the Epstein files out, because you're talking all this shit about a hoax. It's not a hoax. Maybe you being in there might be a hoax, but
Because he tried to
all the things,
make it
sure.
illegitimate. It's like, no, there's some real stuff in there, man. Don't
Some
say it's
real
all a
stuff.
hoax.
Real
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
And so they did release them, and then when they released them, there was that one clip. Guess I could have. It's not that important how they were able to just click it and you could see the
Yeah.
fucking redactions. That was pretty cool.
it's crazy the technology, man.
Yeah. But I think the reason why I was saying that whole thing is because there's things that we don't know, and I think it should be more transparent, but it's not. But what do you do? You're not going to get the government. It's the government in the United States of America, the most corrupt. They're right up there with everybody else. They're all corrupt. They're all the people in office.
And
they're all
anybody who
corrupt.
wants that position, you kind of have to have something wrong. Honestly, you know what I mean? You just do. You're wired different in some way.
Yeah, I agree.
mean, but yeah, I don't believe personally that he's on it. My thing is, promised it, let's see it. You know, I'm definitely the kind of person to let the chips fall where they're gonna. You know what I mean? Like you said, hit hard times. Maybe I don't know what's good for me, but I'd eat. I mean, if it's gonna stop diddlers from diddling, uh, I'll eat beans and rice. That's
Yeah.
just,
Well, let's
wants to.
show you this ad, but if you know what's good for you, I'll say this: I was gonna show you my Patriot Supply ad, but I can't get it. Ad. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you about. If you go in the comments, what's it called? The description. If you go in the description, whatever platform you're on, if you're on YouTube, the description will be at the end of. I'll put it on there after the show ends. I'll put it in the description. But if you don't have a water supply, some sort of way to filter your water. I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell you that you have to have this, but when all this stuff first started happening, I invested in enough food for my family so I could get by for at least 2 months. So I bought 3 90-day supplies of food. It's not really that expensive. They have different types of um, you know plans where you can pay a little at a time, 4 or 5 different payments or whatever at My Patriot Supply. If you use the code 843, then I get a little credit for it. They have the best like solar operated generators that'll run your whole house, run refrigerators and stuff. They have the water supply, the Alexa Pro is
I have the
badass.
Alexa. Yeah, I have the Alexa Pro.
Yeah, I
That's
have the
amazing.
Alexa Pro, and it works really good,
Yes, it
and
does.
it filters your water, so you don't have to worry about getting toxins and contaminations and having to put salts and stuff in your water before you can drink it. It works really well. So go to the description. There is a link in there. You can go check out the page, or you can click the actually click actually click QR code, and you can go to my landing page on my page, and you can also look at stuff there, and just use the code 843. Probably the worst ad read you've ever heard in your life, but all right. So let's get to this now. The things that I don't understand about this is why Trump says he wants to do stuff or he's going to do it, but he doesn't, and then how more and more people are talking about, hey, you need to make a move here. We need to do something about this, and so his main advisors are now coming out on the internet and saying it. So is he not listening to them? That's a concern of mine.
The thing with Trump is he's always gotten bad information.
Yeah.
That first term was, I mean, yeah, there was the Democrats messing with him all the time, but he had a lot of moles inside his administration, and that's my fear is that he wrapped himself around some people that are just like that again.
Yeah.
Because he was full bore the first year, Oh, I won't even say that because that's not true. First couple of months, he was full bore. Now he's kind of toned it down, It's like, dude, you don't get another chance. Let's rock.
You only get one
this.
chance
Yeah.
at this, yeah.
And like you said, you're going to have this opportunity. You want to go down in history as the president who solved most of this bullshit. And
Smart. That would be the smart thing.
Yeah.
Listen to what General Flynn said. Stand by.
Back to war. Back to the levels that we talk about. Number one, I believe started, and we are responding to the alert of the messaging coming from, frankly, some on the right. Okay, so last segment was that, and I think that people have to. I'm telling you, like a big whoop. And my last comment, you guys have a show. The response about, like, if you get involved in Iran, involved in Ukraine, they get involved. Response in the region, fire a missile, that attack a base in the region. No, the responses now are going to be right here. They can reach us with, you know, Hamas, members of I mean, we still think that there's Chinese military aid, Biden administration inside of it. I mean, so, you know, it's not the war, folks. I'm telling you, the war is not over there. You know, you have to get over it. Right where it's oceans that protect us, right? We don't have these oceans that protect us. The war is right in the middle of it. We have an infiltrated government. And again, I'm trying not to be hyperbolic about this, but it's not, what I'm saying is we have to deal with it right now. And I don't feel like it's happening. I just don't. That's the focus. Can't even get, you know, one guy indicted for treason, basically.
Yeah. So point made very well, actually. Yeah. I mean, I feel that, and you know, when Flynn's, and you know, say what you will about General Flynn. I mean, he was 3-star general. He was, you know,
motherfucker was run through the ringer.
They lost everything.
Everything. They were going to go after his son.
So think about it. I always say this, and the men that know me well know that I live on this. I stand on this. It's not the failure. It's how you what you do with that failure that counts. How you respond and bounce back from the failure. If you lay down and lick your nuts and never get up, then you'll be a failure. But if you get up and dust yourself off and get back on the horse, you'll be all right. And that's what I've always done, no matter what kind of things have happened to me in my lifetime. I just continue to get back up and get to it. Whatever it was, whatever it is, and
learn from it,
learn from it, move on. Yeah, and I have, and I'm really grateful for that. And, you know, I mean,
but that's my frustration with Trump. Is it's like he has these things happen. The dude had his ear blown off, and it's like, dude, these people are.
There's people that say that they didn't happen too.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, that's crazy. I
watched
it. I watched it.
I was there.
Yeah,
or I wasn't there.
I wasn't there, but I watched it live.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a big, every rally that was on, I was watching it.
Well, because we want to support that America first.
Absolutely.
Bring back our country to civility, something that is recognizable, because it's been so torn apart over the last 25 years, really, when you think about it. I mean, all the presidents have just destroyed this place. And Trump started a little something, and then they crippled him, because they did. They crippled him. You know, he had a couple good years. I mean, he did bring the financial markets back. He did bring fuel down. I mean, he did a lot of good things, but he also got so much bad information he couldn't get nowhere near the deep state. Yeah, he couldn't even couldn't get in their office.
Yeah.
So
the way I was theoretical. It's like, can you imagine what would happen if he didn't have those 4 years? Where we'd be at right now?
I can tell you right now.
Oh, we'd be fucked.
What happened is, because I've said this before, and you know, that watch me have watched me for years know that in 2016 Hillary was supposed to get in there, and that the whole COVID thing was supposed to happen then, and all the things that happened in 2020 was supposed to happen in 2016. And do you know how far behind we'd be right now?
Oh yeah.
So they and
it would have just been a continuation of the bullshit that Barack did.
Yep. And
I mean, I just watched it.
was
I lived.
supposed
We
to
all
be-
lived it.
It was supposed to be another Barack Obama presidency from the basement, and he didn't do
get it
that.
with her,
but then
but
he
he
did.
got it with
but
JoJo.
Got it with Joe
Absolutely.
Biden, and so I mean, I want to that all that is the past, and what are we doing moving forward? I think all those people need to be brought up on charges and indicted, and they probably won't. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, we're going to get to. I do have something that maybe let's see. Oh, I have another page.
Yeah.
I was like, this can't be all of it.
No. Yeah.
So
No, you got
page.
almost
Got
another
it.
full page.
I hope you wanted to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. So we're going kind of slow, but you know what? I think that breaking this down in the way that we are on these areas and these different things is important because a lot of times I'll have all these clips and I'm looking at my clock and I'm like, okay, I gotta get all that, so I don't give it what it needs.
You don't need to worry about that with me. I'm here.
Yeah,
Let's
great.
ride.
It's important. So
It is.
let's look at this now. This is important because this is set. I set this up so we're kind of building a map here. Building a map on what we're doing here. Kind of setting this up so that you're getting all the information before. So when you get the next bit of information, it makes sense. Okay. So that's why I did the Iran thing and then the Flynn thing, because I think that we all need to be paying attention. Like, really. I mean, even if you don't buy storable food from me, go get some restorable food. Get a water filter. Listen, like right now,
gotta
worse
have
than
water,
any
dude.
time. They're talking about. They're talking about. You heard what Flynn just said. Hezbollah, ISIS, uh, Taliban. Just China, 300,000 Chinese
Military
fighting,
aged.
military fighting age males were released. 300,000, right? So, I mean, and I know I've talked about it for years about this, and a lot of people think I'm just crazy, but the truth is the truth. And when it happens, I don't know. I just say that you should prepare yourself for whatever's necessary. Ammo, all that stuff, water filter, some restorable food. I mean, I think if everybody was like, okay, so I have to worry about 30 days. How am I going to take care of my family for 30 days and do everything that you can do within your price range to make sure that you have 30 days of of help. So, like I have a freezer. It's full of fucking meat. I mean, it's probably not the best meat, but if you're fucking hungry, you're gonna eat. Okay.
Gotta have protein,
and
man.
You got to be able to eat. And then I got the water filter. And I went and I got the restorable food, good for 25 years. I got that so I can make sure that I have what I need. I have all the cooking utensils and outside cooking stuff and all this stuff. I mean, I just prepared myself if I had to throw everything in a trailer and get to a high spot. And then I built a 11x7 high trailer so I can haul everything, because I'm just like, hey, I got to be prepared for this because I don't know what's going to happen. And then I got a map of all the back streets, which I know the back streets, but I mean, all the back street maps. So I didn't have to get on the freeway, because if you haven't seen the movies, you have to pay attention. Well, the most recent one is One Battle After Another, or something like that. The one before that was Civil War. The one before that was, the one Obama directed, paid for. What was it called? But in the Civil War movie, they go to the White House and they kill the Trumpian figure, some black military goes in there and kills the president. I mean, that they tell you what they're going to do, and this is there's the whole point here. They tell you what they're going to do, and the one before that, I'm gonna tell you what that movie was called right now.
Scary how he went from being so involved with Netflix.
Yep.
Propaganda, baby.
Leave the world behind. The beginning of the movie, they showed a big ass ship crashing into the shore, right? And then the middle of the movie, it showed Teslas. Teslas are self-drivers crashing into each other, right? Just nobody driving them, and then all the animals are all looking in one direction. Complete psyop. I mean, and what they do is they tell you what they're going to do. It's a Podesta plan. That whole movie, that one, the Civil War movie, they're all about the Podesta plan. And then there's this new one out. This new one, we didn't get a chance to see it. Probably out on Netflix now because those movies come out quick. Yeah. But it's all the propaganda on what they're planning to do. And I know people I get these comments sometimes. But I mean, okay, I take it. I comment back and we have a conversation, whatever. But I mean, it's like, come on, man, pay attention. They do this because the evil has to tell you what they're going to do. They have to tell you what their plan is. Anyway, all right. So,
well, and half of the public is asleep.
Oh, less than half.
I don't know, man.
I think it's less than half now. 2020.
Well, I would hope.
Hey, after COVID and after cancer,
after COVID, you're right.
After cancer and after all that stuff, and after putting masks on your kids and leaving your kids out of school for 2 years, people are awake. Okay, there's more than that. Anyway, I'm going to give you your joystick back in just a second. This video is a little bit long. I was going to cut just pieces out of it, and I'm like, you know what? You need to hear the whole thing. And this is about the cyber attack that we're in, because when this goes down, if it goes down the way that it's been predicted for years, 2 minutes to midnight, right? So think about it. Like, I didn't move the clock; they did. They moved the clock closer to midnight. Okay, I didn't do it. Is it 2 minutes? 2 minutes to midnight? Yeah. Anyway, when you think about it, I know I'm talking a lot, but think about what's going on. They hit you with the water. They hit you with the fuel. They hit you with the food. They hit you with, and then once they get all those things destabilized, which you've seen what they did in 2020, where there was no fuel, there was no food, there was all these different things. People
there was no toilet paper.
No toilet paper. People were using leaves off the. Yeah. Anyway, I did not use the leaves off my lawn to wipe my ass. I didn't. I used the grass. I just skid like my dog. Okay. No. But the reason why I'm saying this is because for those people that you say that are not awake, or they just come across this and they see us up here talking and they got intrigued about what we're talking about and they've made it this far. If you don't prepare yourself and you have children and you have a wife,
you got to for when
you have to prepare yourself. I mean, at least prepare
just
yourself.
For them.
Yeah, I mean,
just for them, if nothing else.
And you have to, because listen, if you're the man of the house, your wife better not have the shotgun in her hand and you're hiding under the bed. Okay, that's what I'm saying. All right, here we go. Stand by. A long clip. Stay with me.
That half of the is down. It is down. The third time in 12 months as a major outage. Now, let me tell you something you probably don't. Going back long after that, long enough to where it, a bunch of pilots throughout the country had all reported fire letter, full signs off on it, pilots, traffic control, that dry runs were happening on airplanes. But there was no doubt that carrying out on airplanes, and the reports were not clear there were dry runs. And so then it triggered off to the front, have better security back into being. But the public never found out about it. Slow down. In fact, and then it went away, which obviously means the government held the news hold because they were afraid that you would stop taking flight and that this country was going to go into a fall of panic that another 9/11. Folks, I think is what made very. And I think it's because A, focus on the things that are B, every single last measure that the government can take to try to. But when you have, I mean, a telecommunications company, Verizon, having an outage for half the country, phone calls, all access anything, and it's down for the majority of the day. Understand that this isn't a glitch. Like there was a hubs where all the equipment is kept, and Windows came in, wiped out a basement. This isn't they had a tornado and it wiped out poles and all the service lines. You're not getting why this happened. It's going to be total BS. There is no possible way that you can tell me last January, and then again in October, and now again in January, things happen. Now, you can look at it from various different. The fact that President Trump right now is threatening on the doorstep of Iran, and the Iranians may discuss, we're going to take your telecommunications. I'll give you another example. My movie, the last one, they come to the door. You will going back. There was out of Northern California, that a power plant had been shot up, and they blamed it on local yahoos, who basically, okay, tell me that local yahoos who are drinking are going to sit outside a government facility and just randomly transform it? No, it's not going to happen. And in my film, I had, if you watch They Come to America 4, that entire film, woven in the whole storyline by me taking a Border Patrol agent who was one of the leaders of the California sector. And he's about to retire, and as I would like to say, he has diarrhea. Like, I'm dumping out everything everything like. And he explained that when that entire thing happened with the transport up in Northern California, about the local Yahoo, was that it actually was Hezbollah. Hezbollah, which operates in South America, primarily in Venezuela, also operates in Mexico. On the drop of a dime, Hezbollah, which equivalent to our Navy, went up and shot at those, them out. If they took them out, the entire West Coast is in a blackout, brownout, everything out. And these transformers, we don't have a lot of them in stock. They're not even made here in America. They're made over. And the entire freaking system goes down. Have any power? You won't have any access. Nothing. And so when I asked that gentleman, whatever his name, I asked the agent, I said to him, why did that happen? One or two different things. Number one, it was a warning. Maybe something was happening underneath. Know about it, and they let a warning that said, oh, what you're about to turn, and we're going to turn you off. The second thing was just a friendly reminder that we're here to execute very strict. Not make a single mistake. If you look at the timing of when these different attacks have happened, you had an attack right before on the horizon, right before Trump comes in. October, you have another one. Now you have it now. What's taking place right now? Venezuela now have Tucker Carlson interviewing guys from Russia who's saying they're thinking about maybe taking out nukes and hitting. And of course, we've got the threat that we're going to go into Iran, take out the Ayatollah, because the Ayatollah is killing. Nothing new. He's just doing it at a greater level. Make no mistake. If I had to take all my money right now and bet one way or another, I either double my money, I lose it, or I run. This is a real say. If you pull the shenanigans, right, wrong, or indifferent, you're going to suffer a great, or like the head of the. If it's not a, hey, Iran, by Russia, or this Venezuela stuff, and this is what it is you're looking at. Here's half the country today. Pull out the full country today. Or reminder that we're here and we're ready to do whatever we have to do. Fine, President Trump. About this variety. Buried. Americans have their phone back now. I can make phone calls now. And so I just very easily blow this off into one. That is a mistake, and it's what American people no longer are what we used to be. Point blank. Don't know how else to say. How else?
Yeah. So, I mean, anyway, you swing that. I mean, that is, and you know, I said that last time. I remember, I remember very clearly that I was like, when the power went out, lost power, internet, lost our phones, and I was like, okay. I was thinking dry run, so it's a perfect opportunity for me. So I got the generator out, satellite phone out. You know what I mean, and you know, my my satellite phone was dead, right? So I hook it up to my generator to get it charged up so I can run it. And I was like, this is perfect. This is the dry run that I needed so I could be prepared to be out for whatever. So now I keep it plugged in. Every once in a while I'll pull it out of the bag and I plug it in. You know what I mean, or whatever. And I I got a Faraday bag and I keep one key of each vehicle in there. I got an EMP blocker on my truck, so if I have to haul some shit, my truck will start. And I keep a spare key in that bag, so you know, because all the keys have a little chip in them now, and you know, you just, and you know what? Hopefully, never will I need it. Never will I need it.
But you rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
That's what I used to say about the basic text when I was in NA. I'd rather have it and not need it and not have it. Kept me clean for 24 years now. So, I mean, this is a funky one because people just think you're blowing smoke because they're so normalized. This is all normalized. Listen,
Well, just like he said, once they got their phone back, it's back to zombie.
back
What's
to
what's on the TikTok? What's on the Facebook? Look how I'm doing. All that. It's
Hey,
crazy,
you know, I
man.
tell you, two things. One, I identify as an American, and I'm just gonna say this. I haven't said this yet. I was kind of like, I don't want to know if I want to talk about this because I don't want to freak. I did talk about it on the show one night when I was doing the show. I think New Year's, when I did my little New Year's welcome to 2026. But a lot of Middle Eastern at the gym. I mean, and they work out in trees. So, and I'm observant. I'm, very observant. So I go to the bathroom during my workout. I go to the bathroom, and there's one of them standing in the hallway, while the other one is using the bathroom. And I'm like, interesting. I'm just being observant. So and so they don't really say much to me. There's one dude, this young kid. He's a big old hog. You mean? He kind of talks to me, and at first I thought he was just like a little Mexican kid or something. Because no difference if they don't talk to you. And then a few days ago, he talked to me, and he had that Middle Eastern voice, And I was like, but when I wear that shirt with my cross out, I don't know what my cross out. My cross out, I identify as American. I get more dirty looks in my own country than any other time in my lifetime, and it's weird. And whatever. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? I mean, I guess that's
Well,
how.
after the last 4 years, man, it's multiplied by.
Listen, they are getting prepared. And listen, this is the other thing. If you're not working out, if you're not getting healthy, you're not eating right, and you're not preparing yourself. If you can't do the gym or whatever, that's why I was talking to Will. I was like, "Do you go to the gym?" Because we give military gym memberships, to the military, and because especially if you got kids, you need to be paying attention. You need to be getting healthy, even if it's just doing push-ups in your front yard or your backyard or whatever. Just getting to where
Shit hits a fan.
because it's. I mean, I hope it never does, and I hope that all this is just me being paranoid.
But
I
you're
don't.
not being paranoid. That's the wrong term. You're just like you said. You're aware.
Yeah.
You see.
way
You see
too
what's
aware.
going. Oh, me too. I see it all the time. I drive all the time, and I see it out in the. Sacramento is crazy.
I try to stay out of Sacramento. And I forgot the other thing. I'll have to remember.
It'll come
That's what
back to you.
happens. Yeah, on my brain. All right, let's do it. We're gonna move on to the next. We're gonna. That's what I always do.
Well, how about that? Come to find out, she drove 5 hours from her home with her wife. She dropped her wife on the curb because the ICE convoy was coming down the street. She told her to record. She pulled her car out in traffic thinking that it was going to be funny and for the gram and all of her other patriot friends were going to cheer or laugh at her. ICE car goes around, and then they had enough of her shit. Hey, this isn't the opinion of the Republicans or the Democrats. This is literally what this lady had been doing. She was a professional agitator, came there to fuck with ICE. She'd been doing this the entire day. The videos are all there, guys. This isn't my opinion. It's all out there. The video's literally there of her dropping her wife off, pulling out in traffic. Anyway. All of you that are out here sitting on bridges, throwing bottles and rocks, thinking somehow you're doing this noble and heroic vigilante work. You want to stick it to the man. You want to f the man. Go home.
Go to work.
Go home and get your house in order. Go home and raise children that aren't playing video games 8 hours a day, whose aspirations are purple hair and a barista. Go home and raise children that aren't in 7th grade needing antidepressants like you. Go home and get your house in order. Sitting on a bridge isn't the fucking jam. Running in front of a Suburban screaming just so that you can get on the gram and go viral isn't accomplishing anything. Go home and get your house in order. Go home and raise contributing members of society. Go home and build a business. Go home and get rich so that you and your other rich friends can get into politics and change the fucking game. You think running in front of a Suburban or getting shot in the face because you're fucking with government officials is doing anything? In 2 weeks, no one will remember the city. Nobody's going to remember. I hate to break it to you. No statues are going to be erected. She's not a hero. In 2 weeks, no one will even remember her name. How'd that work for you? How'd that work out? Go home. Get your house in order. You really want to stick it to the man? Then don't be a victim of the culture waiting on your welfare check. Go out and build some. Get off the bridges. Let hardworking Americans get to fucking work. Think somehow getting shot in the head is this noble vigilante work? You think sitting in front of a bus? You think standing in front of and running in front of a... All it is just go home.
We are already surpassing Hitler, Nazi Germany. Do you not see this? If we have to debate the morality of does a person deserve to be shot in the face by a masked man who just jumped out of his car working for the government, what have we become? Why are we here scrolling instead of getting out to the streets? I'm so serious, and I'm going to keep scrolling because honestly, nobody would join me if I got in the streets, would they? Because that's the thing, when we go to the streets, we go to the streets with our little plastic signs and we say, stop shooting people, arrest ICE. Do you think that's going to help a woman who just got shot? This is serious. This is no longer political debate online material. This is no longer wave your flag in the air in the streets material. This is civil war, revolutionary bullshit, and I'm scared to say this on the internet because I know the government's watching me, and y'all better be fucking afraid of what you're doing to your people because we will bite back. This is our country, and we deserve to take it back from the very terrorists running it now.
The Indians are even there.
Good afternoon.
Where's this chick?
I'm Rochelle Bilal, the sheriff for the city. I say her name. Nay Good. Nay Good. Nay Good. This should not have happened, but we're here today. Let's know that law enforcement professionals, real ones, not the fake made-up ICE, probably trumps a new army to attack citizens of the United States. Hear what I said? No law enforcement professional wears a mask. None. None. Those that come into our communities wearing a mask to commit crime, thank God for our district attorney, Larry Krasner, who said he's going to lock them up. And I'm saying now, we are not going to whisk you away for them to hide your identity, because when you do it there, you're getting arrested there. No whisk away for them to hide you. None of that here.
Gotta love this.
This was an event at a church that acted out immigrant.
Do it again. Play that one again. Hold on a second. So,
Has already started.
go ahead.
He said event at a church that acted out immigrant.
Okay, so I want you to know what that is. That is a training session for protesting.
Oh yeah,
that's what that is. So when I say that a lot of them are paid propagandists, and you send in the comments that I'm an idiot, there's your proof. I mean, there's tons of that proof, but there's your proof. They do these things where they get them in these churches and they teach them how to be loud, film, agitate, get in the way, do, the whole thing about with this, what they're calling protests against federal agents. And they're doing it in Church of God. I mean, I don't know what you call that, except for Satan. Blasphemy, exactly. So, I mean, so we went over a few of these. Played a few of them. One chick, I didn't know if she was getting ready to have a but the Civil War is revolution.
But
is
you
bullshit.
see it, it's such an act
Yeah.
because she's filming herself and making sure that she's looking down and she's
reading her script.
Yeah. I'm like, no authenticity. If you're mad, you're mad. Okay, I feel you. There's been plenty. I was mad for 4 years. You know what? But you know what I did? I went to work. That's what I did. I mean, this too shall pass, and that's the sad thing. But I'm still stuck on that guy who pulled his shirt down. Yeah. How you can just say that? No.
Well, and
or it's allowed, I should say. You can say it, but it's allowed that he said it.
Well, and there's a difference between. I think there's and this is a thing, fine line, where to have free speech versus threats of violence.
Yeah, you can't threaten somebody's life. I mean he's straight. I'm going to at the end of a barrel.
Yeah,
bro, that's the worst thing. If you want to persuade me, you have to come with good ideas.
That's probably CIA or something. Yeah. It's probably something. That dude in the yellow sweater earlier. I think they're like,
oh yeah,
feds or something. They're because they're doing that. And what that does is, remember the what the hell was that Chicago mayor, Chicago governor? What was her name?
Beetlejuice.
Starts with a W.
I know what you're talking about. She looked like Beetlejuice.
Where they faked her that they were kidnapping her or whatever.
Oh, that was the governor of Michigan.
Michigan, yes.
Whitmer.
Yeah, the Whitmer.
There were more feds in that than there were.
So what they do
actual people,
because Seraphin talks about what they do, how those sting operations go down. They start like that or whatever, and then they get people riled up and to join them, and then they talk them into doing the stuff. And they might not even want to carry a gun or go blow something up, but just so they get some weed. That was those guys. The Whitmer kidnapping plot was those dudes just wanted weed. So in order for them to get weed, they had to carry out this propaganda or whatever. I guess they threat to kid, whatever it was. I mean, but the guy said on tape when they was being investigated, when they were doing the what do they call when they get you in the room and they put light interrogation, that he just wanted some weed. That's all I wanted was some weed.
There was one of the people that did it. They were sleeping with her.
That's so disgusting.
Yeah.
That's like thinking Pocahontas is hot. And so the reason why I say that is the other part, because they do this stuff, they get this propaganda going, and they talk these people and get them all riled up,
Weak-minded people,
and
bro.
then they get
Weak-minded.
then they get them to do something crazy like a
Then they
pipe
become
bomb,
then they're the
or
patsy.
something, and then they get that's how FBI gets their their arrests.
That's
and their
how that
numbers.
dude who supposedly, you know what I mean, the one shot at Trump's ear was a guy like that.
Crooks.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was McHale. I don't think he did that. I think that he was on the roof.
That's what I'm
but I
saying.
don't think he took any of the
I don't think he
shots.
took the shot either.
Yeah,
but
there's too many,
because the way they did
yeah.
that, that's a whole nother rabbit hole, you know?
All right, let's keep going. Let's do 4E. It's just showing you what it looks like for all those that keep telling me that that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just showing you the unhinged leftist that's out there doing this crazy stuff. But
We, the people, need to start taking back this country, and immediately, because they have corrupt, fake ass people in these placements like ICE that are allowed to be masked, covered, not identify, do whatever the fuck they want, and murder people without knowing who they're killing, just killing civilians. And Trump's okay with this and is allowing this to happen, and it's now happening all over in the Midwest. This is not okay. What the fuck, America and Americans? How stupid are we to keep allowing this to happen? I say it's time for everybody to start getting guns and start coming out of their houses and start shooting these fucking ICE agents in the head when they start trying to take over people.
what do you think that dude's going to do? What do you think
What do I think he's going to do? Get dressed back up in drag and be a Twinkle Toes. That's what I think that guy's going to do.
Go ahead and play this clip.
But yeah,
play
he's talking a man's game, and he's not going to do shit.
I mean, it's just so.
Oh wow, what the? Bro, I just
It's
what?
small dick. I love it.
But I mean,
so little gay boy out there talking about he's going to do something.
Yeah.
They'll probably arrest him. They'll probably go arrest him.
They should,
because he's probably not one of the feds.
he's on the list.
He's probably not a fed.
Yeah,
he's probably just
he's on the list. He's one of the he's the patsy.
He's the patsy.
Yes.
He's one of the people that is listening to the dude in the yellow sweatshirt and saying, "Yeah, let's do it." And then he goes on the internet and says something, then they just go roll his ass up.
Whoop. Good. You get rolled for saying something stupid. I mean, come on, that's
all right.
Wow.
They had a couple hearings this week.
Sorry.
So Ketanji Brown Jackson is a complete fucking retard.
Moron.
I'm not supposed to say retard.
No,
but
she's a moron.
She's a moron for sure.
Yeah.
And so she says, what was it that she said? Basically, debating on if women or men should be allowed in women's sports. And they're having this back and forth about it. And she literally was saying that some women some women are strong enough to be in men's sports, and some men are weak enough to be in women's sports. And who are we to say? Basically, I mean that's the synopsis about what she was saying. And then the very next day, they had a Senate hearing with this doctor Verma, Dr. Verma, and would absolutely not answer the question, and she kept calling it, saying that he was mixing words and political speech and all this stuff. So we're gonna play all three of them, then we'll come back and 5A, 5B, and 5C. Gotta love this. People are fucking gone.
Women get pregnant. And yeah, there are some women who are under the delusion that they are something else that can still get pregnant. Yeah, because your thinking doesn't affect your uterus. But the fact that you have a uterus should affect your thinking. And saying that in no way implies that a woman's sole worth or value is in her ability, or that a woman is devalued in some way if she is unable to conceive for whatever reason. Women get pregnant. Not all women get pregnant, but anyone who does get pregnant is I will let you fill in the blank. And our refusal to say pregnant people does not mean that we don't think women are people. We understand women are people. It's just that you refuse to acknowledge women as people separate from men, separate from everyone else. You refuse to hold sacred to women the thing that women only can do, the one thing that women only can do. And it's amazing to me that y'all feminists want to take literally the only thing women can do that men can't do. Not all women, but the only thing women in general can do that no man can ever do. The only territory that no man will ever conquer. And you want to make it gender inclusive. Your point of view is not only antithetical to biology and to reality, but it is antithetical to womanhood and to the power that it holds, unique from men, unique from everyone else. Guys, I'm not even a feminist. I don't know why I have to say this stuff.
And even women.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since you bring it up,
who can't have it?
why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer. Do you think that men get pregnant?
I hesitated there. I wasn't sure where the conversation was going. I of many women, different identities, and so that's where I paused. I think wasn't sure where you were